Hi there, and welcome to another Papetti Math YouTube video tutorial where I'm going to be teaching you Algebra 1. And in this video, we're going to be looking at Exercise 2, which happens to be the final exercise in this lesson on writing linear equations from graphs of lines. And this video might be a little bit longer than the others, is because we have 4 different parts within this exercise. But that's okay. I believe that you'll stick it out to the end and really understand what you're doing by the end of this video. It says to use either method to find the linear equations for each of the following graphs. And if you're just joining us now and haven't watched the exercise number 1 video, when it says either method, it's referring to either, I'll write it up here, the slope-intercept form, which is y minus y1, is equal to m times x minus x sub 1. And the other method we could use is y equals mx plus b. So depending on the information we're given, we use one or the other. So in this first one, I see a point on the y-intercept. If I know my y-intercept, that's going to be the clue to use this formula as my easiest method. So I'm going to just find another point on this line so I could find the slope, and I see this point, or you could use this point, or this point, or even this point, or this point, or this point. So this has a lot of different points that you could see within this line. So you can use any 2 of those points to find the slope. I'm just going to start here because that's where I normally begin. And I'm going to go up 1 unit, and I'm going to go right 1 unit. But I need to be careful because I'm going up by 1s on my y-axis, but be careful because I'm going up by 2s on my x-axis. So I'm going up 1 unit, but I'm really going over to the right 2 units. So my slope is actually going to be 1 over 2. So my slope is going to be 1 over 2. And I know my y-intercept is going to be at 3. So using this information, I could substitute it in to y equals mx plus b. And instead of m, I will write 1/2 x. And instead of b, right here, I will write 3. So I have y equals 1/2 x plus 3 is the equation of this line right here. All right, so let's go on to part B now. And again, I see my y-intercept, so that's going to be a hint to use y equals mx plus b. Because if I know my y-intercept, it's going to be a little bit easier than having to distribute and do a little bit more math than I might need to. So again, we need to know our slope. So I find another point on the line. Oh, there's one right there. And again, you could use any of these points that are on this line. Here, 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 or even here. And now I'm going down because I read my graph from left to right. So I'm going down how many? 100. Because I go from 500 to 400, I'm going down 100. So my slope is going to be down 100. And I'm going to go over to the right just 1 unit. So my slope is going to be negative 100 over 1, or just negative 100. And my y-intercept is going to be at, as you can see from the graph, 500. So my equation of this line is going to be negative 100x plus 500. And there we have the equation of this line that you see in the graph. You just took that graph of this line and were able to give an exact equation that represents every single point on that line. Let's go to part C. Oh no. In the first 2 questions, I looked and I saw my y-intercept right away, and I was able to use mx plus b form, slope-intercept form. But this one, I can't see my y-intercept. It's going to occur somewhere over here, but I don't like to guess in math. We like to be exact. So we don't like somewhere over here. We want to know the exact value. So since I don't have my y-intercept, let's look at what I do have. And I do have 1 point on this line. Ooh, I have another point on this line. So if I have 1 point, any point on the line, and the slope of the line, I could use point slope formula, which is y minus y sub 1 is equal to m times x minus x sub 1. So again, let's list out what I have. Let's see, my slope is going to be, how do I get from this point to this point? I'm going to have to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and over to the right 2. So my slope is going to be 5 over 2. And any point on the line is going to be, let's use this point, and that's going to be 6, 4. And again, that 6, 4 is going to be assigned these special names of x sub 1 and y sub 1. And now I'm just going to substitute the m value, the x sub 1 value, and the y sub 1 value into this formula up here to get my equation. And I'll have y minus, well, y sub 1 is 4, is equal to m, which is 5 over 2, times x minus x sub 1, which is 6. Okay, so again, let's do some simplifying here. I'm going to distribute, and I'm going to get y minus 4 is equal to 5 over 2x, and then this is going to give me a minus 15. And finally, I'm going to add 4 to both sides of my equation to get y by itself. I'm going to get y equals 5 over 2x minus 11. And if this thing were to keep going down, yeah, now it starts to look like it would probably intersect at negative 11. But now we know for certain that it does intersect at negative 11 because we used the point slope formula. And finally, we are on our final part of this exercise, part D, where again we have the y-intercept. So as soon as I see I have my y-intercept, I'm going to be using y equals mx plus b. And I'm going to find both values. I know my y-intercept is 0, so now let's find the slope. Well, where's the next time we see an exact point on this line? Oh, these are very tough to see, but if you follow this all the way up, there we go. All the way up top, we see another point on that line. So that's going to mean we're going to have to go up 1,500 units, and we're going to go over to the right 500 units. And if we simplify that, 1,500 over 500 is really just 3. So I'm going to substitute in my m value and my b value, and I'll get 3x plus 0. But again, we don't really have to show that we're adding 0 because the result is going to just be 3x then. So your equation of this line right here is y equals 3x. And if this video was helpful for helping you find the equations of a graph of a line, then give it a thumbs up to let me know that I helped you out with this topic. You're now ready for the next lesson in Chapter 3, and you can click on that link in the video provided. Thank you for watching.